Hello friends, my name is Dr. Jisha Singh and in this video I'm going to discuss about privity of contract and the exception therein. Well, as far as the meaning of privity of contract is concerned, according to this doctrine, a contract cannot be enforced by a stranger in his favor or against a stranger to his disadvantage. For example, agreement between A and B. C cannot enforce or A and B cannot enforce against C. Reason is simple, the agreement is the result of mutual consent. A contract can arise only on the ground of mutual consent. C has not consented, so no contract without the consent of C. So A and B cannot enforce it against C and vice versa. In UK, since time immemorial, this doctrine is well established. In India, however, the statute is totally silent on this ground. As the statute was silent in India, there was controversy whether doctrine applicable or not. There was difference in opinion in various high courts. However, now the controversy is solved that the doctrine of privity of contract is part and parcel of the law of contract. However, based on justice, equity, and good conscience, there are certain exceptions that have been created. The first one being trust or charge. Well, trust is always created for the benefit of a third person who is not a party to a contract. It is created for both movable and immovable property. For example, A promises B to pay rupees 500 to his son C for 2 years. Agreement further says if A doesn't pay, C can get the payment enforced in the court of law. Now, this line is crucial, which means that if this line is not there in the agreement, then the agreement is not enforceable by C, that is the beneficiary. Merely creating of the benefit is not sufficient. Clause regarding enforcement must also be there. A stranger to a contract in whose favor a trust or a charge is created is always allowed to enforce the contract to his advantage. Charge is created in favor of immovable property only. A monetary obligation made enforceable by a specific property to a charge. For example, house tax in arrears is always charged against the property, which is house. If owner of the house does not pay tax, the municipal corporation can recover the house tax by selling the property. The next exception is agreement relating to marriage, partition of property, settlement of family disputes, or compromising of family disputes. Now, a contract pertaining to marriage can always be enforced by a person to whose marriage the contract pertains to. For example, A and B, fathers of C and D respectively, enter into contract for marriage of their children. If B omits to marry D, the affected party C, a stranger to a contract, can always claim damages even if no gifts are given or dowry is given. Now, there is another instance if in an agreement pertaining to mutual settlement or compromise or family dispute, a benefit is created in favor of a stranger to contract, the stranger can always enforce the contract to claim damages. Example, husband and wife and father of wife. Now, husband H is in the habit of being cruel to his wife. Fed up with the cruelty of the husband, the wife comes back to her father's place. Now, the husband realizes his mistake and apologizes for his past conduct and wants to get her wife back. Here, the father of wife and the husband enter into agreement that father would only send the daughter with the husband provided if he repeats the same behavior, the husband would pay the maintenance of rupees 500 to the wife. Wife comes back to the husband's house, but H, the husband, repeats the same cruel behavior. Wife now asks for compensation. Husband refuses. Wife files a suit. The issue was she is a stranger to a contract. Can she get compensation? It was held the wife, the beneficiary, can always claim compensation. Now, the three exceptions which have just been discussed, a benefit is created in favor of the stranger. If a liability is created as against the stranger, then no enforceable agreement. The next exception, the fourth exception, is acknowledgement or estoppel, where under a contract, one party is required to pay money to a third person and independent to the contract, the party concerned acknowledges to the stranger his liability to pay, the stranger can always enforce the contract and demand the payment. Now, this exception is only applicable in case of money. Acknowledgement may be expressed or implied. Here, acknowledgement amounts to estoppel. For example, A sells to B his plot of land for rupees 50,000. A tells B that he should pay rupees 40,000 and balance 10,000 to C as A is indebted to C for rupees 10,000. Under an agreement, B is under no liability to make payment to C until and unless B acknowledges. If B does not acknowledge, then C cannot enforce. However, if B acknowledges, admits the liability, then C can enforce the agreement. The next exception is covenants running with the land. When a person purchases land from other person with the notice of knowledge that the seller of a land is bound by certain conditions relating to land created by an agreement with other person, the purchaser is also bound by those conditions, though a stranger to that agreement. Land here implies immovable property like building, land, etc. For example, C sells to B a plot of land with the condition that B shall use the land only for residential purposes and not for any other purposes. Now B sells to A. A is aware by virtue of the agreement with C that he cannot use the land for any other purposes except residential. This condition is binding on A also. As far as the first four exceptions are concerned, there is some benefit created for a stranger. In the fifth exception, there is no such benefit created. So these are the exceptions under the privity of contract. In the next lecture, in the next video, I am going to discuss cases on invitation to offer, and government contracts. Thank you.